Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. 56-year-old Marine veteran and Idaho resident Yvonne St Cyr yelled to the mob as she was approaching the barricades and the fencing surrounding the Capitol. She was saying things like, "Push it, they can't stop us all, tear it down." When she reached the restricted grounds, St Cyr maneuvered her way to the front of the police line. She turned her back to the officers and she started pushing against the bike rack barricades. They said for more than 15 minutes she was pushing, and she ignored the officers' repeated orders to back up, get away, stop. Eventually, the police line did collapse, and St Cyr was one of the first people to force her way past the officers. She was the first also seen inside the Lower West Terrace tunnel while another member of the mob was shattering one of the glass doors. You guys might remember I just covered the arrest of that person. That was the only thing separating the police from all of these patriots. Well, about 15 minutes after entering the tunnel, St Cyr was physically removed by an officer. She returned several minutes later, though, and she climbed onto a ledge inside of the tunnel, and she remained there for about 20 minutes plus. She was on the ledge watching the action. She was shouting to the mob. She was encouraging violence against the police. Then she joined in with another member of the mob, and she was calling for, quote, fresh people outside of the tunnel. And then St Cyr was seen and heard yelling to the mob to push as they were crushing the officers when they were doing that heave-ho effort. Well, ultimately, she was physically forced out of the tunnel a second time, but she didn't leave the Capitol grounds. Instead, she climbed into the Capitol through a window that the mob had shattered. You guys will recall there was like an arched window off to the side. She climbed in there, and then she helped at least one other person climb inside as well. And while she was in that Senate office, she was live streaming to Facebook. She was spewing out a bunch of election fraud BS. And she said, quote, "Welcome to communist America. Aren't you so fucking proud?" Yeah. Communist America, where Trump supporters throw violent tantrums when they don't get their way. St Cyr eventually exited the Senate office. She was seen on video then leaving the Capitol grounds several hours after she arrived. This was while it was getting dark outside, so she was there for quite a while. She went back to her hotel room. She live streamed again, and she was spouting more psychotic Q-loon nonsense. So St Cyr was arrested on March 3rd of 2021, and she was charged with 2 counts of civil disorder, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol. St Cyr refused a plea deal. She opted for a jury trial. And as with so many others, St Cyr tried to feed the jury a bunch of BS. She claimed that she had no idea she wasn't allowed on the Capitol grounds or inside the building. And she tried to sell the idea that she only climbed through the broken window because she wanted to call her husband. St Cyr also claimed that she was on the ledge inside the tunnel and she was yelling for everyone to stop it, meaning like she was telling them to stop attacking the police. But the video evidence proves that she was not yelling at the rioters. She was yelling at the police to stop defending themselves against Trump's terrorists. She went on to tell a few more tall tales, and in March of 2023, the jury convicted her on all counts. So based on the felony conviction of civil disorder, St Cyr was looking at up to 5 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. However, the prosecutor requested only 33 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. And the government notes in her sentencing memo that St Cyr has a history of disrespecting the law. St Cyr apparently was dishonorably discharged from the Marines for a drug offense. She was also convicted for trespassing in an Idaho government building. She apparently refused to comply with the posted regulations in the building. Also, an officer gave her directions and orders, and she refused to comply with the officer's directions. And then they say that she also doesn't pay her income taxes. In fact, she admits this. In a video following her sentencing, St. Cyr admitted that she and her husband haven't filed their taxes since 2019. But she blamed Biden's election. So how does that work? Because you stop filing your taxes 1 full year prior to the election, right? 2020 filings would have been in April of the following year, right? I mean, or if she's talking about the filing in 2020 for 2019, still, it would have been April of 2020, those were due. October at the latest if she filed for an extension. So why are you not filing your taxes when the election hadn't even happened yet? Anyway, U.S. District Judge John Bates presided over St. Cyr's case, and she told him at the sentencing hearing, quote, "I did the right thing. I know it sounds delusional." Not at all. She tried to read actually a 7-page letter to the judge, and he cut her off on page 5, and he told her, "You have 1 minute left." Other than that, I couldn't locate any quotes from the judge, but he ended up sentencing St. Cyr to 30 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution, also a $1,000 fine. So a decent sentence, in my opinion. St. Cyr live streamed to Facebook after her sentencing, and true to MAGA character, she painted herself as the victim. She actually likened herself to Jesus before he was crucified. And then St. Cyr also said that the prosecutors, quote, "wanted to paint their little narrative and their little lie." Yeah. Remember, 12 jurors watched the video evidence, they heard her testimony, and they decided that she was guilty on all counts, not the prosecutor. So, a perpetual state of victimhood, that is where these people reside. Anyway, I'll let you all know if I hear any more. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if possible. Love you guys. Take care. Talk with you soon.